Welcome back to the Life in a Deep podcast, where porch talk meets real talk. All right, quick mood check. How's Dallas been feeling, y'all, this week? Because between traffic, the growth, and just doing what it does, it's been a lot. Me personally, I've been juggling the podcast, trying to stay consistent in the gym, and still show up for myself. And now I know I'm not the only one. Now, today's episode is a little bit different, but it's real important. We're going to talk about what's really on inside the Dallas District Court system, conversations about justice, bail, and backlogs. And I have a guest who's actually been on the bench making these decisions. And before we get into our guest today, we've got to talk about what folks around the city have been feeling lately when it comes to justice in Dallas. Now, if you've been paying attention, you've probably heard people talking about delays in the court system. Cases taking longer to be heard, families and individuals waiting for decisions. Ripple effects on people's lives is real. At the end of the day, this isn't just paperwork. This is people's lives on hold, and that's something that we don't always talk about. Another big conversation in Dallas is that bail fairness and what justice actually looks like. Public safety versus fairness, who gets held, who gets released. The bigger question is, what does justice even mean? I think a lot of us want accountability and we want fairness, but figuring out the balance, that's where things get a little bit complicated. And that's exactly why today's guest is so important, because she's lived this work and not just talked about it. Today, we've got Judge Kim Cooks, who served 8 years on the 255th District Court right here in Dallas, handling family law cases that impact real families every single day. And now she's running for the 194th District Court. So this conversation is right on time. Are you doing it? You doing all right today?
Yeah, so how's your day then?
Going pretty good. We previously were able to work from home a couple days a week, and then they took that from us, and they've recently given us at least one day back. So this is my one day back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's been good.
Oh, at least it's a Monday.
Yeah, right? That's the best day
Right,
to me. Monday or Friday. Friday was my
right.
second choice.
Yeah, Monday or Friday. Those are the good days.
Yes, definitely. So first, I think though we should probably kind of get into a little bit of your background. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you came from.
Okay, so I am originally from Colorado, Colorado Springs, Colorado. I grew up there. My father was in the military, and that was his last duty station before he retired from the Air Force. I moved to Dallas, and when I was 19 years old, I attended college here at University of Texas at Arlington. So I've lived in the Texas area, either Dallas or Houston, ever since then.
Okay. And how do you compare Dallas to Colorado?
It's different. I love the weather. Texas weather is great. The heat is excellent. I love it.
Oh my gosh. In the summertime, the
Oh
110?
yeah. Yes, I can't wait.
Oh my gosh. That feels really truly Texan right there. Okay, so let's get into things. So can you talk about your time serving on the bench for the 255th District Court? Talk about some of the impact that it had on you and some of the lessons that you learned during your time there.
It was excellent there. I had the opportunity to open the doors and provide opportunities for a lot of minorities that didn't have the opportunities to be court appointed attorneys, ad litem attorneys, amicus attorneys on private cases, and the opportunity to be real estate, people of minorities who could be real estate agents to sell the homes when necessary. So it was excellent on the 250 family court.
And that is family court, is law, is divorce, is custody, all those types of things. And those are like really personal issues. How did you feel like trying to navigate some of those issues that would affect families?
Well, before I took the bench, I always prayed before I took there that God would give me discernment and it
Mhm.
would be His will, not my will, that my decision. So all the decisions I made, I never lost any sleep over them. And I didn't lose sleep over my decision. I lost sleep over the Court of Appeals decision and the surrounding facts around that case. That was very disheartening. Yeah, so that particular case
Okay.
still sticks with me.
For people who have never stepped foot in a courtroom at all, what does a typical day look like?
Every day is different. When I was a practicing attorney, I loved trials. So every day I had trials. the when you're a district court level of family court, that's what you do. It's the last, but it's your last stop. You're hearing trials, motions and trials. So every day I heard trials.
You're about to get ready for your runoff in May. A lot of us are really excited to go out and vote for sure. Can you talk about what you'll be doing? What might be a little bit different in that court versus the 255th district court?
It's so funny because people ask me what the
Yeah.
big difference to me. I think it's more peaceful. And
Oh, really?
that doesn't sound like, because it's criminal court. So they're thinking, how is it more peaceful? But,
Mm-hmm.
only time the defendants really give you a problem is if they have a little bit of mental health issues. Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, when you address people with dignity and respect, they don't have that problem. Whereas in family court, their emotions have taken over their
Mm.
reasoning. So it is no reasoning. They're so caught up on it's just for the principle of things. They'll spend all their money, all their assets and everything, and it's just for the principle of things. It's not a lot of reasoning. So that's the big difference to me.
Yeah, makes sense. What is one of the biggest issues in Dallas County court system that you would like to address?
One of the biggest issues is technology.
Mm,
The mm, yeah, they definitely need to the whole county needs to spend money on updating the technology, updating the computer system, updating how things are ran in the whole entire county. It needs to be updated. It probably hasn't been updated in what, 20 years? And
yeah.
I had the opportunity to go to different counties and actually they have the same system, but it's more updated and it's much more technologically advanced than Dallas County. And with us being the ninth largest city in the country, that's just unacceptable to me.
Yeah, and it's just newer programs or implementing maybe some of the AI or something like that. Is that kind of what you're
Newer programs and what a judge can do, as far as the programs. In Dallas, it's pretty much the criminal court is still a paper system. Girl,
Yikes.
paper and files. Yeah, still. It's not like that over in family court, in civil court. It's paperless over there. But no, in the criminal court, it's still paper. You write things on docket sheet, and I was shocked that they still do that.
Yeah, there's too much. We are in 2026. That's crazy.
2026. We shouldn't be, writing much on paper.
Yeah. That's interesting. Good to know. And that kind of leads me into my next question. What is something that you wish that like Dallas residents knew about, the court system and stuff that they don't know?
Oh man, it's a lot that I can't talk about, but that is the stem of the problem.
Mhm.
Is the computer is the if things were advanced with the computers, that would help a lot,
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
whole lot.
Yeah, and
Especially
something that we've been
on
reading
side.
about in the news and stuff lately is like about how there's some backlogs and cases are kind of behind. Is that something that's maybe related to technology, or what would you say about
Oh,
that?
I believe it is related to technology. Um, yeah, I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
Because even and you think about it, even I was talking to someone today, even in Harris County, I can remember back in 2004 when I practiced in Harris County, Texas. Um, you would get a list, every attorney would get a list of the cases that they had, whether it be in civil, criminal, juveniles, family court. You would get a list of your cases every day. This is your cases. This is what you need to have done. And then
Yeah.
we could go through the security system. You could pay for a card with a background check and you could show your badge and go through the security. And so all of that is like that was back in 2004 when they were doing that in Harris County. In Dallas County, they have never done that.
Yikes. Yikes. It's just somebody at the top we need to convince to switch over, or we just don't have the funds. What do you think is the issue?
They don't want to spend the money on it.
Okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
It would be in the best interest of the citizens of Dallas County as well as the inmates that our system is updated.
Yeah, definitely. And for this podcast, we kind of think a lot of our viewers or listeners are pretty young, so they always kind of want to know like what got you into law? How did you get here? What is the step? Kind of tell us a little bit of the steps about like How do you get into becoming a judge?
You know what? So I interned when I was in law school. I went to Thurgood Marshall School of Law in Houston, Texas. I interned for a judge who became my mentor and who I looked up to. Her name was Judge Belinda Hill. She was in the 219th Criminal Court. And so when I watched her at that time, the Andrea Yates trial was on. I don't know if you remember that lady who drowned her 5 kids. They were like, she was
Mhm.
homeschooling them on a bus that was outside of their house. Yeah, she was in trial. And at that point, I sat there and watched the judge, and every day I would watch her and I'd be just like in awe of her professionalism, of her wisdom. And I was like, one day I want to be a judge just like this lady here. So that's what made me run for office in 2013. And, I won the election in 2014 for judge. So that's what all started my, I guess, judicial career, you could say.
Okay. That's interesting. What do you think about judges on TV like Mathis or Judge Judy?
That's unreal, especially um, the interaction that doesn't happen. And some people think that
Okay.
that's how it occurs in court,
They d
that things
yeah.
are out of control and you can say whatever you want. You can make
Mhm.
outbursts and the judge can be that disrespectful. That's all for entertainment purposes. If any of us talked to somebody like that, we would be before the Judicial Conduct Commission. So
Yeah.
it's unacceptable. But you saw that it was a guy on TikTok. He was going viral, that judge. He talked crazy to
The
everybody. And I
IT
think
the
he was in
IT guy,
Harris
right?
County.
The IT guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'm
Yes,
like,
I
I
saw
felt
that.
really bad for the IT guy.
Yes, same, same. And so that's I feel like for like some of the younger folks, that's all they see when they think of judges. They see the TikToks, they see a little bit of Mathis. So they really feel like that's how things go. They have no idea.
Right. Man, yeah, I really felt bad for him because he was just joking and trying
Mhm.
to make light of the situation, and he got
Yeah,
chewed out for it, like
he did.
unacceptable behavior.
He did. He handled his composure really well too, because I feel like I know some IT folks that probably would not have handled themselves in the same manner. So professionalism, he was teaching us some professionalism right there.
Yeah, he should get the professionalism award, that IT guy, because he definitely held it
Definitely.
together.
For sure. Do you want to talk a little bit about, can you speak to kind of the importance of like the runoff is coming up and we want people to go out and vote, the importance of getting out and voting?
And we have elections coming up back to back because,
Yes.
is it next week? No, it's the week after. The election for the city municipal elections
Oh,
in several cities in Dallas Fort Worth area have an election, which is early voting starts the week after next, and then their election day is May 2nd. That is not our Democratic primary or the primary runoff election. The runoff election is May 18th through 22nd, and then election day is May 26th.
hmm,
So we need everybody to come out and vote. It is important because you a lot of people think it's important, more important to vote at the level of the presidential
yeah,
election, and it's at the local election, the local politicians, especially the judges who can change your life or your family lives, your friends' lives
yeah,
instantly. So it's good to know who's running, what they stand for, and even to know them, get to know them, show up in their court. Courts are open and see what they do, because we actually serve the people. So it is their choice on who they want on the bench to serve them. So it's very important to go vote and get to know who your local politicians are.
yeah. Do you have any resources off the top of your head that would be like a great place to go to like find out more about candidates or make sure you are aware of when the next elections are coming up? Is there any like resource we should run to specifically?
League of Women Voters, that is like a little pamphlet, a newspaper pamphlet. It had all the judges in there that ran for the primary, all the people who ran in the primary election. So, but then too, you wouldn't know who um, is in the runoff election. Because on the county-wide level for Dallas County, on the Democratic side, there's only 3. It's the 194th, which is the court I'm running for, criminal court number 5, which Lakeisha Smith is running for, and then for the county clerk. Those are the 3 countywide positions that are up for runoff. And that's where DeMarcus Alford is running. And then there's some, I think it's Senate District 20, is it Congressional District 24 and 33? So if you don't live in those areas, they're not going to show up on your ballot. And then there's Precinct
Mm,
1 and then Precinct 5 that's on the ballot if you live in that area. So that
okay.
one covers kind of Oak Cliff, DeSoto area. The other one covers the lower part of Oak Cliff onto Pleasant Grove, that area, East Dallas, Pleasant Grove. So those would be on the runoff ballot.
Okay.
But to go
Definitely.
find it, you would have to go to the Democratic Party website to see who the candidates are in the runoff. Other than that, I that's the way you would have to find out. You are having a runoff, and it's very important. May 18th through May 20th.
And then just a couple of fun questions because we always like to end it kind of keeping it kind of light. So if you have family in town, where are you taking them? What kind of brunch spot or what kind of place that you make sure that you take them?
If I have family in town, where would I take them? I would take them somewhere to eat, of course.
Yes.
What would be the choice? Well, I like this little Trinidadian place that's in the farmer's market. Have you ever been there?
In a Dallas farmers market? I don't think I have.
Yeah, they sell like jerk chicken and some
Mm,
macaroni and cheese, cabbage. That's a good place.
okay.
Kitchen and cocktails, of course. My friend
Yes.
owns Kitchen and Cocktails, so that's
Oh,
a good
nice.
place. Uh, what other place is good? The top of my head. What do you like to eat?
I like all kind of food. I'm definitely a brunch girly, so I definitely maybe Bishop Arts area, some kind of little brunch spot. Um, I also like a good taco too. So any kind of good taco spot, I'm down for. Um, and even from time to time, I mess with a little bit of vegan food. I've had some good vegan dishes, like in Oak Cliff area, the
You
iconic
know
vegan
what?
place.
In Bishop Arts Vegan House, I like Vegan House.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
yes. Okay,
Yeah.
good deal. All right, how about State Fair or a low key food spot in Oak Cliff? What would you choose?
A low-key food spot in Oak Cliff.
Definitely, right?
The state
Um,
fair can get kind of dangerous sometimes.
okay, yes, we were there for a few hours. We spent quite a bit of money. Oh, goodness.
Right, it's expensive. The food
It
is too
is.
expensive, so I'd rather go to a little spot in Oak Cliff and eat there.
Definitely. How about Deep Ellum or Bishop Arts?
Bishop Arts.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Okay. And the best spot in Dallas to clear your head. If you need a spot to clear your head in Dallas, where would you go?
I would go to Prayer Mountain.
I just recently got a chance to check that out. I love Prayer Mountain.
Oh, you did?
Yes, yes,
I mean, it's so peaceful, and then you
it
can
is.
look over and see the scenery. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it there.
yeah, that's awesome, awesome. And anything else that you think that we should make sure we include in this podcast as we wrap up? Do you anything else you want our viewers or listeners to know about you?
About me? Well, of course, for the 194th Criminal District
Yes.
Court, I am the only candidate who has criminal district court experience. 11 years
Mm.
of district court experience. I'm the only one with criminal district court experience. So, asking for your vote, 194th Criminal District Court. May 18th through 22nd. It's important that you early vote so you don't have that whole debacle like on election day that we had this last time. That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was like 12,000 votes that didn't count. I think those 12,000 votes were my vote, so I'm kind of upset about that.
Yeah, could have been. Yes. I was fortunate enough I was able to get mine in, but yes, I know some people were not. So that's true.
It's kind of tricky because, it's coming right after the holiday. The election day is right after Memorial Day, the day after Memorial Day. So that's why I'm telling people early vote before you go on vacation, before you forget that there is even an election after Memorial Day. Early vote.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Judge, for coming on. I am so happy to have had you on today. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. So I thank you so much for joining. And I can't wait to get this podcast out. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Right.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
making time. Yep. I'll see you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
And you already know this is Life in a D, where we tap into the people, the purpose, and the pulse of Dallas. Make sure that you like and subscribe and share with somebody who needs to hear it. Until next week, same porch, same real talk. I'll see y'all.